Hello and welcome back to Isino Workshop. This is Oscar, and today I'm going to show you how to make a snowy rock terrain piece for any type of tabletop board game, although I'm going to use mine for Star Wars Legion. So the materials you need for this is, first of all, a piece of rock, and I'm lucky enough to live near a nature area, so I just went out and found one, although I guess you could buy it from a hardware store or a modeling store possibly. Other than that, I used some PVA glue, quite a lot of it actually. That cost me about €3. I also used a big sheet of a cardboard material called PVC. That cost me about €2.50. And then the expensive part was actually the snow, the soft flake snow that I bought off Woodland Scenics. That's €16, but it's also gonna last for a long time. Other than that, I just used a glue gun, some scissors, and I also used a pencil. So the first step was to cut out the PVC cardboard, and I just outlined from the rock on top of the cardboard and made sure to make the base a little bit bigger than the rock itself. And the reason for this is that I want to put snow on top of this and make like a soft transition from the board up to the rock so that it looks like a piece of exposed rock peeking out of the snow on a snowy field. And this was easy enough to do with a pair of scissors. And then I just used the glue gun to glue the rock on top of the cardboard. Then the next step after that was to make the snow. So I made about 50-50 mix of PVA glue and soft flake snow. And I used a wooden spoon to mix it together into a nice gooey material. And then what I did was I just went several laps around the rock and covered the area in between the cardboard base and the rock itself to basically make a smooth transition and cover up all the cavities around the rock, as the rock is obviously not with a completely flat surface underneath. Now, obviously, this glue and snow mix is not as hard as cement or as easy to pack as snow, so it runs a bit, which meant I had to make sure to push it in place with a spoon. And actually, after it had dried, I went a second lap just to make sure that I had covered all the areas. But other than that, the process was pretty simple. The only thing I did other than covering around the rock was that I also put some snow on top of the rock itself. And the reason for this was I wanted it to look natural, as if it had snowed recently, and obviously then some snow would collect in the cracks on top of the rock. And then the only other part of making this terrain piece was the last step was actually made by Tatiana, my wife, and she just put some glue on top of the rock itself and then sprinkled some soft flake snow on top of it to make some areas look like they had collected some freshly fallen snow. And then all I had to do was leave the terrain piece to dry overnight, and then it was easy as that. It took maybe 2 days to make, and here you'll see the result. So here's the final product. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So it's basically supposed to look like it's a piece of rock coming out of the snow with some patches of snow on top of it, and it's solid, like the cardboard underneath is completely flat, I think it looks good. Yeah, so it was a pretty simple project, and I hope you enjoyed watching it being done. That was it for now. So if you have any comments or questions regarding this, please put them in the comments, and see you next time.